Many years ago, the border gypsies made their winter home at Jedburgh, Hawick, Redpath or Yetham, with the latter being the most important as it was seen as their main muster point. Locals who encountered them described them as pleasant and friendly, and often their cart filled with hay or grass could be seen travelling along the roads. The main families were the Farrs, the Youngs and the Douglases. During the summer months, the carts would contain crockery, with the horse travelling at a slow pace, its driver half asleep or sauntering along beside the horse, a loose rein thrown over his arm. A woman was often curled up on the back of the cart and would only jump down when the cart stopped so they could have a snack or a smoke, while the horse contentedly ate the roadside grass. Along the route, they would stop at the cottages or by their gates, with the woman swinging her filled basket with wares and showing them off to those who lived there. Once a year, a long line of carts trundled briskly along the roads as they made their way to settle on the green at St Boswell's, where they would enjoy a festival on the 18th of July, a time when their wares sold best. Women could be seen perched high on these carts as they passed, with dozens of little dusky faces peeping out around them. Smaller gypsy families would follow the head gypsies in their red and yellow caravans, threads of blue smoke emanating from their chimneys, and their little windows had white lace curtains. Sometimes a young mother could be seen sitting on the back of the caravans, on the step ladder, nursing their babies and enjoying the views. Once camped on the green, her husband would stand on the platform at the front of the caravan and call out to the locals to come and see the show. At the local burn, the women washed the linen, then laid it out to dry on the grass, and the horses and donkeys were allowed to graze freely on the common. Fires were built and were often seen with cooking pots hanging over them from a tripod, or a kettle boiling. Children could be seen sleeping under the cart canopy that formed a tent for them overnight. One of the gypsy queens was Queen Esther Fa, who lived in a neat little cottage. She was old but alert and gave the appearance of someone much younger. She wore a print dress with a white apron and a spotless muslin cap that was triple-frilled, framing her face. She was rather reserved, but kindly. Another gypsy was known as Old Thomason Douglas, a grandmother and great-grandmother. She would visit local houses and sit on the back step, pipe hanging out from her mouth, and her basket of wares by her side, ready for inspection. She was described as an old crone, much like what people imagine a witch to look like, her face creased and wrinkled, her eyes black, with a look of cruelty in them, and she always wore a cottage bonnet. One of Old Thomason's daughters, Leon Jenny as she became known, was accused of stealing a leg of mutton from a larder in a house. She had visited the house on the day in question, and servants there said they'd seen her take the meat and make a hasty retreat. Jenny was charged with theft the next day, but she robustly denied she'd taken it. Reach, another of Old Thomason's daughters, once had to go to the Hilton's Hill toll bar to pay the toll for her donkey. While she was there, she was asked if the charge was for her, and being told no, she swiftly put the animal on her shoulders and strode triumphantly through the gate, not paying a penny. Whether the story is true or not, she was certainly capable of lifting a donkey, as she was both tall and extraordinarily strong. Reach's daughter saved a child from drowning once. The little girl had been playing by the side of the River Tweed when she slipped on some slimy stones and fell into the shallow water. Having done this, she often asked favours from the family of the girl. At one stage her mother became ill, and she appeared at the family's door, asking for a snuff of tea for the ill woman. She not only received tea, but bread, butter and cheese. Chancing her luck, she said, "My mother's awfu' fond o' a taste o' jelly. The mistress 'll mind it was me that pu'd the little leddy oot o' the Tweed no lang sin." Another daughter of Thomason's was Mary. She was much younger than the others and was described as handsome in the face and figure and was very well mannered. She would go around collecting rags and would barter crockery for them. She eventually left her Romany life behind and settled in a house in Jedburgh. Bessie, Mary's sister, took up where Mary left off. Raven-haired with a swarthy face, she looked very much like her mother, both in looks and physically. When she arrived at a prospective customer's house, she would tell the servants to "Tell the mistress Bessie's here," having gained entry to the kitchen, where she waited. Unless the mistress wasn't at home or ill in bed, she would wait patiently on the best chair in the kitchen until she saw her. She would say, "I'm in no hurry, my dear. There's nothing pushing me the day. I'll just sit and wait till she comes." And wait she did, sometimes for hours, much to the dismay and discomfort of the kitchen staff. Sometimes she would ask if the mistress had an old goon or a pair of shoon or a warm sark. "My banes are getting old and feel the cold awfy this hard winter." She would also ask for a drink of milk, saying her mouth's as dry as a whistle. If she was given a coin, Bessie would flatten it in the palm of her hand and spit on it for luck, before she pocketed it. However, the time of the gypsies staying on the green was coming to an end. Locals didn't like when they camped there before and after the fair, so a concerted effort was made to stop this. Throughout their time there, they were polite and asked permission to get such things as water from the wells or willow for basket making. They never just took it, although fishing, seen as poaching on private land, was fair game. These people left their mark on those who remembered them from their childhood and were never forgotten by them. If you enjoyed this episode of Scotland's History, please like, comment and subscribe. Until next time, thank you for watching.